But I walk into a room and I forget why I'm there. Well, it's not motherhood. It's not age. It's not burnout. It's apparently the algorithm. We can blame the algorithm.
I knew it. It's this art of practicing self-compassion.
Yes.
I think that's something that we as moms, I don't know if we resist it, but we really struggle to embrace it because I think there's this overhanging lie we're believing that like we have to be all for all, and that's just a weight we can't carry on our own. We were never meant to carry that. And so
for 10 years I've been a mom, and I don't know, like when I would get overstimulated, like when he was a toddler or even, younger than that, and you almost just feel like you're a terrible person because you are feeling that way. And it's like, why can't I control my head? Why can't I control my body better? Like, why can't, it becomes a very big, like, me problem. And, this is something I did wrong.
Welcome to What Even Is This, the podcast that recognizes life's a mess, so let's talk about it. My name's Jane, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Jordan. Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
It's going great, Jane. I've reached that special phase of motherhood where I walk into a room and immediately forget where I'm there and maybe sometimes even where I am. My brain just kind of buffers now. It's great. It's fun. It's, little loading wheel. It's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. Yeah.
We are all fine. That's so perfect because today we are talking about a season so many of us are living in, the overstimulated, overwhelmed, and over it era. Do you think Taylor Swift will work this into our next tour set list? I'm just curious. Or should we send her the pitch? What do you think?
She'd make millions. So yeah, I would hope.
I hope we get like a little cut of that royalty.
Little cut.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, I digress. Listener, you know what we're talking about. That special time where noise comes at you from every direction. You have kids, you have work, you have Slack, you have school emails, you have social media, you have your own brain. Yeah. And at some point, your soul is just quietly whispering to you, I'm going to go lie down. Okay. Okay. You good? You good? I'm good.
Yeah. No, for me, soul and body are going, yeah, the couch looks great right about now. Well, before we dive into that, it is time for What Even Is That? Which is where I bring something unhinged from the internet and Jane tries to make sense of it because we're moms, not pop culture experts, and it shows. Sorry, I will speak for just me. You can speak for yourself, Jane.
No, it's relatable. It's relatable. So what do you got? What do you got for us today, Jordan?
Yeah, so, I don't even know where to start, honestly, which, fits. The internet has just been serving me a very specific vibe, probably because I was preparing for today. And that vibe is this, that every mom is 2 seconds from running away to a soundproof cabin, which, oh my word, that sounds amazing. Now that I'm saying it out loud, sounds amazing. I mean, it's like, apparently in 2025, which at the time of recording, that's when it is, the latest hot mom accessory is not a tote bag, not a water bottle. It is noise canceling headphones.
Oh, my head. That is so funny. Relatable for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of these things too, we'll come back to the headphones, but have you ever heard of those like sensory deprivation tanks that they have?
Yes.
Okay. I've heard of them too. I almost had a chance to participate in one because it just sounds like amazing at this point in my life to just float alone in the dark. It sounds like the most affordable vacation from my problems. You feel me on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it is kind of like this like full commitment type noise canceling and just sensory depriving environment. I feel like if you're gonna go quiet, go quiet. All in quiet.
Go all in 100%. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So like we said, the noise canceling headphones, it's the hot mom accessory, and it is a must have for overstimulated women, which pretty much daily I would put myself into that category. So I especially vibed with this one. One would probably, and I think somebody on Instagram I saw had even called it in a reel, like the overstimulated mom kit. And they were saying
interesting.
the only thing in their kit were these noise canceling headphones. So I went, oh, okay. And like, I mean, listen, if your mom kit is you got keys, you got phone, you got snacks, you got industrial grade noise reduction, you are my kind of mom. You're my kind of woman. Because, yes. So, I mean, and here's the thing. If that is you, if I just described your like going out the door routine, you're not in your motherhood era. You're in your sensory protection program era, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that a rebrand that we all deserve? For real?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. Jordan, at home, my husband and I, it's just this running joke right now because he has become a collector of earbuds, headphones. He wants one in every corner of the house. He wants one for every single device, solely for convenience purposes. Like, I'm like, he is, and I would say Brian is on the verge of like minimalist. Like he doesn't want a lot of stuff, but headphones, man. He can't have enough headphones. And again, it's for a convenience purposes. But for me, if I were to collect that many headphones like he has, it would be a mental health strategy for sure.
Yes. Well, I mean, and I would relate. And we'll come back to put a pin in that minimalist thing because that's also coming. Yes.
Nice.
So let's go into some of these like mom noise reduction life hacks that I found. So, I mean, so many reels about, like I said, moms calling noise canceling headphones a must have for being overstimulated. And, it's just honestly, and I will actually say that I have used them. I've done this. I have the, whatever Apple, and they're like 50,000 words in a name for these headphones. But the over the ear, it's not AirPods, but it's like AirPod Max or something, but it's the one that actually just go over your ears.
AirPod Max, AirPod Lite, whatever the range is, right?
Plus, minus, So anyway, I have sometimes just pop those suckers on and let the noise cancel. I don't even have anything playing. I just have the noise canceling on. So I can attest that, yes, this does actually help. Like, I am guilty of doing it because, I mean, it's just a way of coping with like the household noise and kids. And honestly, even, I mean, this might not sound like it would work because in a way you're like closing the noise in, but even like the noise in your brain, like, just the mental load and the lists and the everything, like even just having self-imposed no noise silence in your ears, I have found actually can help with that. So anyway, I just kind of was immediately like, oh yeah, no, that's me. that was me. So that was the first what even is that I found. And so now the next one, because the algorithm knows I'm fragile, it sent me straight into this whole other corner of YouTube now where moms are doing digital minimalism deep dives.
Very interesting.
So this is where like I decluttered my phone and suddenly my soul came back online, or I deleted 100 apps and now I can breathe again, or I removed my children's faces from my camera roll for clarity. I have not done that, but not that last one. But anyway, it's, I don't know, like, where does that sit with you? I mean, is this something that maybe you've contemplated?
Yeah, I really have. I've dabbled in, I don't know if I would be daring enough to claim the title of minimalist, because if a simple camera pan around my house of my surroundings on camera, it looks great. But the minute you look to the left or right, you see there's no minimalism happening here. But I can attest, or I like this idea of decluttering, not just physical stuff, but digital stuff, because it becomes like this own little spiritual revival, if you will. Like our souls were like never meant to carry all this stuff, and I'm not trying to make us feel guilty for having stuff. Like we need some stuff, but like sometimes it just becomes too much. And a voice I really listen to in this space is Emily P. Freeman. I don't know if you've heard of her. She has a podcast called The Next Right Thing podcast. But she also claims this title of like a soul minimalist, where she really challenges and invites us to consider the season that we're in. She really likes it when we reflect on our past and how that's informing our present. And there's always something to release. That's something I take away from a lot of her content and the books that she's written is there's just something that we can release that just does not serve us in this season. And we can recognize the shifting needs of each season. And it's just really incredible that when I actually do it, I wouldn't say I consistently do it, but the times that I do of how much simplifying can just lighten the load, right? So like I'm here for it, decluttering our phones. Gosh, my phone's reminding me all the time, like, hey, you have like 70 apps that you're not using. Do you want us to delete it? I'm like, well, that's a nice feature because I don't necessarily want to go through and say like, oh, I'm not using this or I'm not using that. So I think that we can take for granted the mental space our physical and digital possessions can take up. And maybe that's a source of our overstimulation as well. That leads to the overwhelm. And quite frankly, then I get over it and try to move on with life. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think, it's just the whole message behind it is really relatable to moms like us who we're just juggling so many responsibilities. And there are a plethora of apps out there that are, self-care, reset you, keep track of your life and everything. And that's great. But I mean, I have found it can actually almost also be just adding to the noise in an attempt to not have the noise. So yeah, here's my thing. And this is just my personality. My phone, I don't feel like is like out of control because I've organized everything. So
good for you.
In a way, I know, in a way, like I have an iPhone. So like I have all the different folders and I have them like life, shopping, food, like, and so I can just find things. I had to go on my husband's phone for something not that long ago. And I about just had a panic attack because there's no folders. It's just, you keep swiping the screen and there's just like, how do you know where everything is? He's like, I just know. Like, okay.
I resonate with your husband.
Yeah.
So you would probably have that experience if you open my phone, folks. I have my own sense of organizing. I know where it is.
Exactly. But, I mean, I think the whole idea behind these women that are doing like the digital decluttering or minimalism is just this idea that it's just an attempt to simplify life and it lowers stress. It lowers overstimulation. So like, if that is what you do, good for you. Like I said, I don't really feel the need as much to do this one. But I could understand the why behind it. So that's why I stuck that one in there too.
I love it.
And then, when I thought I couldn't get any more possibly on theme, I found actual research saying that short form video, so TikTok, Reels, all of it, literally fries our ability to remember what we were doing. So remember how I said I walk into a room and I forget why I'm there? Well, it's not motherhood, it's not age, it's not burnout. It's apparently the algorithm. We can blame the algorithm.
I knew it. Yeah. I've been blaming pregnancy brain for all these years, but it's really the algorithm, the true enemy of it all.
I mean, hey, and it's a double-edged sword because, you fall into the algorithm to escape the noise, but in reality, it's maybe making it worse, of course. And, there's emerging research, I guess, on just how short form video feeds, like I said, all those different platforms, it's the rapid context switching and the constant stimuli that you get that it's actually degrading users' ability to remember it and carry out planned tasks. So
interesting.
Yeah. So, social media overload is apparently not just metaphorical. The format can actually contribute to this actual mental fatigue and brain shutdown, which, if I sit on my phone for long enough, I'm sitting there going like, what was I doing? What did I just watch? Like, I remember the one reel and then I keep going. And then if I don't save it, it's gone. It's gone.
Yep. And it doesn't necessarily make you feel better. I don't know about you, Jordan, but I mean, it's good for a few laughs, but
it is.
When I snap out of my doom scrolling, I kind of go like, oh, what happened? And oh my gosh, I lost track of time. And then I start freaking out because I got to get dinner on the table, whatever,
Yep.
it's like, it's nuts. Yeah.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, between moms wearing headphones like emotional armor, decluttering their digital lives like they're entering a witness protection program, and science telling us that our brains are officially full, which we didn't really need science to tell us that.
Nope.
I think we've found the theme of today. We're overstimulated, we're overwhelmed, and honestly, we're a little over it. I don't know about you.
Honestly, Jordan, that brings us to the big question of the day. As fellow moms who are in this overstimulated, overwhelmed, over it era.
Yeah.
Jordan, what is one moment recently when like your brain just stopped? Like you just kind of looked around and you're like, what is going on? What even is this?
Right? Yeah. No. Scarily, it would be driving. This happens to me a lot now recently because I do, same route every day, take kids to school, bring them back. And
True.
Granted, I know that I mentally I have been present, but I don't know if you've had this ever or if you maybe have as much as I do, but you get to a certain point like, when did I get here? Like, when did I get to this stoplight? How long have I been
to me? That has happened to me before where I'm like, that's kind of scary. I kind of blacked out through that long drive. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So, I think that would probably be my answer for that one. Is just literally switch flipped. Wait, why am I here? What it's like a weird deja vu. I feel like I don't know. That's kind of maybe been the last time that I can think of that my brain just kind of stopped.
Yeah. I think for me it's going back to this whole like clutter, visual clutter, like whether that is the amount of emails in my inbox or, in real life, I look around and like my kitchen counter, which I really only have one, is chronically the catch-all for everything. Yes. And it drives me bonkers. Like I'm looking at it right now and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the overwhelm building within me.
The rage is burning.
The rage. And it's like, I literally look at it and I know what I need to do. Mm-hmm. And my brain just kind of goes, nah, later. Like, I don't know. It's visual clutter. It does something to my brain. There is a serious brain fog that takes over. And I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it. And it's just really hard, guys. It's really hard to do the next right thing when I know the next right thing is pick it all up, clean it up. And I'm like, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I can't.
And my brain's like,
Literally, it makes that noise. It truly makes that noise. Yeah,
it does. And it's annoying. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it sounds like too, there's a little bit of like overstimulation happening there.
Yes.
So I guess for you, like, what does that look like? Like, now how do you know, I've hit the overstimulation edge? Like, tell me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think first off, like phase one is when the noise inside.
We have phases?
There are phases. There really are. Like,
oh boy.
Phase one is when the noise in my head becomes louder or equally as loud as the noise and chaos around me. Like I just can't make sense of it. There's a lot of things that just get kind of rattled around in my brain, and I can't like grab a thought. I can't like something to latch onto to kind of ground me. And so then that leads to phase two where I start getting pretty irritable. And also sometimes I lean towards this like inner forlornness. Is that a word? Like I'm just
that
like
is,
really,
and not a lot of people use it. Good job for you.
Well, thanks. It's my vocabulary word of the day. Thank you.
Another
I
app that just pings on my phone, but I digress. Yeah.
Oh,
just
why am I
me.
not surprised? Yeah. Why am I not surprised? So I get really sad for no reason sometimes, and like I can't like shake it. I get this like cloud over me. And then phase three, it usually starts coming out where I get short with my people who are like closest to, who are my safe space. I just get really short. And sometimes, like, Eva will call me out and say, "Mommy, you're mean," and I'm just like,
And it's because of you.
and I'm like trying to reboot my brain, and it's just not computing. So like, it's just, like I said, it's phases. I think I go through, and when I get to that final phase, I kind of go, okay, I think I need a timeout for a minute here, and just, permission to walk away. Does that resonate with you, Jordan? Do you, how can you tell when you're overstimulated?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, a lot of what you said. But I think for me, I wish I could say I had phases, but I think I go from 0 to 100. Like I'm fine. Because I'm really good at, like, at multiple occasions, I have had people who are just around me while I'm, like, reading. But there's also, like, a bunch of people and noise around me, and yet I'm still reading. And they go, "How are you doing that?" I'm like, I just tune it out. So I actually do, I feel like, have a really high threshold for tuning out of things.
Okay.
But when I cross that, it's gone. It's crossed. But it's kind of like what you said. Like, I just get very irritable. I hear everything. And I don't know what you know what I mean. But like, this happened to me even just like last night. I heard my daughter coughing. I heard my son talking to someone on a game that he was playing. I heard the ice maker. I heard the air come on. Like, you hear everything, and it just kind of like piles up in your brain.
Yep.
And so that's kind of, and I don't know. I also have anxiety. And so like, I know what's happening. So like, I feel like the physical symptoms of like, my chest feels heavy, or like, I can't breathe all the way, or, that kind of a thing. And it's, all the fun stuff. And like I said, I've gotten myself to, because I, for years, very unhealthily would just kind of like push through it, which is absolutely not what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually fixing anything. You're just prolonging the inevitable just burnout. And so now I've gotten a little bit more self-aware with that. And so I try to stop it before it gets to that point. But if it does get to that point, then, I'm working on some tools, some tricks for keeping it at bay. Let's put it that way.
Well, I love that you bring up that whole self-awareness thing, because I think that is a key piece in this conversation that gives us clues. I don't know. I feel like my counselor when I say that, where she's like, there are clues that we can pay attention to, to our body, to our minds, like how we're feeling, all the things. And so my question for you, Jordan, is like, when you get to that point, what is a go-to reset for you when just everything feels too much?
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a work in progress right now. But going back to those headphones.
Hey.
So and I've tried to talk to my husband about this. He also has anxiety. And so he knows what I mean when I say like, it's everything's a lot right now.
Yes.
So he has his ways, I have my ways, and it's just kind of funny to him. And way before I even was using this as like an overstimulated reset, I was somebody who actually reads better, like studies and learns better if I have background music. And I don't know, apparently not everybody likes that. I thought everybody did that. And then I think it was in college, it was like one of the first times where people are like, how can you read and listen to that? And I'm going, you can't? Like, okay. But it is just something. And I don't know. I mean, music uses a different part of the brain. It activates different parts of your brain. And so I think I'm not at all a neuroscience reasoning here. I feel like it kind of counteracts or counterbalances maybe like the bad things that are getting stimulated, then like your brain on music, then, comes over here and, balances it a little bit. And I don't know, it for me, what I feel like when I start to get overstimulated, I can feel everything like crushing down on me. Yeah. Again, I either put the headphones on and just don't have anything. And so then it's like this forced silence that my head just kind of has to like deal with. And it's like all of a sudden you hear it and then nothing. And it's like, oh, okay, we can do this. We can come back. Or, sometimes it does need music. And so I just put on music and I think it just helps give my brain something else to think about too. I think is
Yeah.
maybe like another pretty probably basic reasoning behind
Okay.
why it might be working.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, music, it's a powerful tool for a lot of things. And so I think it, to me at least, it doesn't surprise me that it helps me reset a little bit. Yeah. How about you? What do you do? What's your reset?
You know, Jordan, there was a time in my life where I was similar to what you shared, where like I liked having background music on. I could generally focus and get things done with that. And there's something about like having kids, like something switched. I don't know who I am anymore. But now I'm like, and I would consider myself an extroverted person. Like I like to be around people. I get energized when I'm around people. But Jane hits a wall at some point where I'm like, I need silence. So my go-to lately is I will hide in my room. Like I literally remove myself from the main floor and I just go to my room. I'm like, I just need like 15 minutes and I shut it. And if I'm in a really bad way, which happens every so often, I have one of those acupressure mats. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
I think like they're called like chakra mat. I don't know. There's many different names. I know it as the acupressure mat because someone told me like a year ago, like this is good for relieving anxiety and kind of grounding you. And I mean, this thing can be intimidating if you're not, because the prongs that are on it, it hurts. Like,
oh, I've seen them. I'm like, how do you lay on that?
Exactly. You kind of have to build up a resistance to it. Like,
that's what I've heard.
So like when I first started using it, I would wear a thin like t-shirt and just lay on it. And you just kind of lay there in stillness and just your body kind of sinks into it. It's like really incredible. It's great for headaches. Like when I get a really bad migraine that I can't shake, like I love laying on this thing. But like when I get really bad, like panic attacks or anxiety hits me hard, I lay down with my bare back. Now I've worked up to that resistance. Yeah.
Okay.
And I will lay there for 15 to 20 minutes. And it's funny because it's on my side of the bed, which is the furthest side. So when you walk in and you don't know that I'm in there, you don't know that I'm in there unless like I start talking. And I've scared my husband a few times because he thinks he's by himself in the room. And then I sigh and he goes, is somebody in here?
Ghost.
And I'm like, hey, I'm down here, just hanging. Just hanging.
Just poking my back.
I don't know. I think it's just a good grounding thing for me. It's good for your muscles to kind of release the tension and all that. So I highly recommend it. Acupressure mat for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm brave enough, but hey, good for you.
Just give it a try. What,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try it. Yeah. Well, all right. One last question on this. And
Okay.
maybe that's your answer. Maybe it's a follow-up. But we've talked about this before with other topics as well in other episodes, but there's always, you look back, hindsight's 2020, all that, but
Sure.
maybe now, this makes me sound so old, we can turn around into the people coming behind us. We can offer them this, advice or this one thing that we wish someone had told us, and better their life. So, yeah, I'm all about that. But for this episode, like, what is one thing that you wish someone had told you about overstimulation before you became a mom? Yeah.
I think it's this art of practicing self-compassion. I think that's something that we as moms, I don't know if we resist it, but we really struggle to embrace it because I think there's this overhanging lie we're believing that like we have to be all for all, and that's just a weight we can't carry on our own. We were never meant to carry that. And so I wouldn't say I've mastered this, but like the last couple of years in counseling has certainly helped out with this realization is this whole practice of self-compassion is a necessary tool in our parenting tool belt. I really appreciate the work that Andi Kolber does. She's written a couple books, Try Softer, and then like the accompaniment book, Strong Like Water, where she gives you practical ways to try softer. But it's essentially this idea of like, stop white knuckling it your way through life, and how can you be softer towards yourself, softer in the season that you are in, because sometimes you just cannot show up with like guns ablazing, like I'm ready to take on everything. Some seasons don't warrant that, and it's not a hall pass for us to be complacent, but I think it's an opportunity for us to pay attention to our body, our mind, and our spirit, to consider what's going on inside of us and to determine what it is that we actually need right now. I think other people may call it like mothering ourselves, like how would we care for ourselves deeply? I don't know, just I just think this whole process, this whole invitation of just slowing down and paying attention and reflecting, which I know I struggle with slowing down personally, Jordan, but the times that I do it, I feel like I'm better for it. So I don't know. What about you? What would you say?
You know, at the risk of sounding really negative, which
It's okay.
Maybe
it's
I
a safe
trend that
space,
way.
Jordan.
I don't know. Well, I like to say I'm a realist, which I don't know if that makes me any less negative.
Oh, you're
but,
one of those.
Yeah, I am not negative. I'm just being realistic. Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know. I mean, obviously the word overstimulated has existed for way longer than you and I probably, but I feel like it's like a lot of things in mental health these days. Like it's something that is more openly talked about and more readily, has some resources available on. So I think it's just one of those words that we all are like, oh yeah, I have that.
Sure.
Or I experienced that. And I think, talking about it obviously makes it feel like less of like a bad thing, and not that it's not a bad thing, but I think for me, like my son is 10, he just turned 10. So for 10 years, I've been a mom. And I don't know, like when I would get overstimulated, like when he was a toddler or even, younger than that, and you almost just feel like you're a terrible person because you are feeling that way. And it's like, why can't I control my head? Why can't I control my body better? Like, why can't, it just, it becomes a very big, like me problem. And, this is something I did wrong, or, I don't know. And I don't know, I feel like it's something that I wish somebody had told me, like, one, you're gonna feel it. Like it's not no, you will. It is coming.
Yes.
But when it does come, like, give yourself a break and understand that it is actually your body asking for a break.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, because I think it kind of, overstimulation, I feel like really plays into, for me anyway, like anxiety quite a bit. So,
Sure.
I think I can probably couple the two together when, another thing, at least in like the church spheres, it, not seeing it as a negative thing, but also not seeing it as a like heart problem or a, well, you're not trusting, you're not focusing on the right thing, you're not, whatever. And that just makes it worse. Like that's just, you're putting shame where shame does not belong. And, that's just not the approach. So I think for me, like if somebody way back before I had become a mom had said, you know what, it's going to get a lot sometimes, and it's going to feel like a lot. It's going to feel like too much, and it's okay. And you'll get through it, and, go step outside for a few minutes, or go make some tea, or go read another chapter of a book, or, just find a way to just kind of give your body a bit of a step back. And then, you can come back and everybody's fine. Nobody died. Nobody's in jail. So like you're good. You can move on from this. I think that's probably how I would feel if somebody had told me that. That would have been nice.
I think a lot of people can relate. Yours truly can, for sure, to what you shared there. And I just want to encourage us as we spiral and the overstimulation and the overwhelm.
Yeah.
That we would not try to carry that burden ourselves, that we, you know, if you're a faith person, you know, obviously share that yoke with Jesus, but also we were created to be in community together. And that's kind of the point of what we're trying to do here with this podcast is kind of not normalize it, but kind of just say, hey, you're not alone in feeling this way. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for this conversation. It's been so good, but I think it's time for us to switch gears for our segment called What Even Is Happening?
Well, this is where eventually we will hear from you, your chaotic, messy, or downright unhinged life moments.
Yes, but Jordan, since the inbox is still quiet, we're going to start with our own chaos moments. Hopefully that will inspire you to share yours with us. You know, those moments that kind of just make you go, welcome to my life. We need to have like an animation or something come up for that. That would be amazing. Anyway.
That would be great. Exactly. So, you know, chaos, ridiculousness, and honestly, underneath it all, it's all just a little too relatable. So, Jane, what even is happening in your neck of the woods?
Oh, Jordan. Well, you know, in light of this idea of self-compassion, self-care in this season of life, one way that I practice self-care is I utilize the Kroger Click List app. Like I rarely go into a grocery store anymore because I just don't have time. I really do actually enjoy grocery shopping. I like to do the leisurely approach, and I always have said that grocery stores are a different time warp. Like I go in thinking it's going to be a quick trip, and I come out and it's 3 hours later, and I go, what happened? Anyway, so when I do this, like I'm very meticulous. I've tried different days, and I have found that Monday mornings, right after I drop off the kids at school, it's usually the first time slot when you schedule it. So they're usually like on top of things at that hour. Like I usually pull in. I'm usually the only one. Maybe there's another car, and like I wait 10 minutes tops for them to like come out, load the car. I'm on my way. I unload, and then I'm at my desk because I am in like a hybrid work scenario. And so at my desk in the morning on Mondays, upstairs in my room at 9:15, which is like when my work day starts. This past Monday, though, was a different story. It was straight up chaos. So I drop the kids off. I'm pulling into the Kroger parking lot, and I don't see just one other car waiting. I see like 6 cars waiting. And this is not normal, Jordan. And my brain instantly went to dread. Like I went, oh no, this is not going to be good.
Tis the season, though.
I guess, but I pull in. I, mark my number of what parking spot I'm in. I proceeded to wait for 40 minutes in this spot. 40 minutes.
You could have grocery shopped in that time.
Maybe. I don't know. Apparently it takes me 3 hours to go grocery shopping. But when I do it, because I like the leisure. Yeah. I like to see everything that's out there.
It's an experience. Yeah.
It is. It is. But I did not have time for this experience because it's like 10 minutes. I got to get home. Like I'm seeing like the clock go to 9, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have time to unload things, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And it was very obvious that there was only one person working, which does not work. Like, I don't know. Every so often, I don't know how they schedule all the things, but long story short, I waited 40 minutes. The guy finally came out and loaded my car. I zipped home and unloaded everything. My arugula looked like it had been punished or something. It was like wadded up into a moist, wet ball in the packaging. I'm like, this is I was ticked. I mean, I was so pushed to the edge, Jordan, that I wrote a strongly worded email to the customer feedback. It's not my usual MO, but I was pushed. And I made sure to mention that the gentleman that was working, he was doing the best that he could, but it was obvious there were not enough people working. Yeah. So Kroger wrote me back. They thanked me for my suffering with $10, and I'm going to try not to spend it all in one trip, but who knows? The price of groceries anymore. I mean, what is affordable? I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. So,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was wild. I know. Yeah. What about you?
Similar. So I am with you. I have not really been in a grocery store in a hot minute. Well, I take that back. So I go into Publix. That's like the one that I haven't really.
Ooh, I do like a good Publix. We don't have those around here, but I've been in those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you talk about experience. I mean, it's also just, it's a pleasant place to shop. But it's also a little bit more expensive. So I try not to go in there.
Sure.
But like, Sam's, Target, I try definitely with Sam's, Target, failing miserably at this, but Sam's, I don't go into Sam's because it's dangerous and I won't get only what's on my list. So
of course
I am with you in that I regularly am checking in on apps and I'm, waiting in car and somebody else brings me a stuff. But the other side of it that I also like to do is curbside ordering for like at restaurants. So definitely COVID times got me hooked on that. And thankfully it's stuck around and now everybody does it. And the biggest one that I will do, because there's something, and maybe this is speaking to my personality, but there's something about going into a drive-through. And if you have to like take off a lot of things or you want things to like be substituted and all that.
Right.
It's so much easier to tell an app that than sit there and like try to make sure that you've actually vocalized like all of the different things that you do and do not want in your meal.
Yes.
So McDonald's is probably the one that I do that the most with. And it's because it's just so much easier to just sit there and like uncheck what you don't want. And like you have rewards and I get a free Happy Meal every like 3 times I go. Like it's great. I go a lot. My kids love Happy Meals, but yeah, I've gotten to a point now where I know if I pull up to a certain McDonald's, like I'm going to be waiting a hot minute, or I will actually get my food and I'll be on my way pretty quickly. Well, we went on a road trip this past weekend to Birmingham to go see my sister who just had her baby.
Yay.
And we were like 30-ish minutes out. And granted, I don't really know the area. So I just like put into my car, like I need McDonald's and, it pulled up the one that happened to be on the way. So I went, okay, cool. Submitted the order. Now at the time of this recording, they had the Grinch Happy Meal, the adult Happy Meal, to which I went, okay, because I have seen it. And every time I've seen it, it has been gone. Well, this particular location had them. And so I went, oh, perfect. Okay, cool. And so I got myself, my 2 kids, and then my sister and her husband got them food. And so I was like, all right, I'm 30 minutes out. Like we'll swing by McDonald's, pick this up, be on our way, get to you guys by, whatever time. So I pull in, and as I'm pulling in, I go, why is this so busy? Like, why is the drive-through line at the light? Like, what is this? Yeah. And so I'm like, well, thank goodness I'm going to curbside. And so I loop around the building, and I don't know about you, but like when you pass that drive-through line, you're like, I'm going to curbside. Like you feel just
you suck.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So I like loop around and I pull in. And even that, I think this place had like 10 spots. There were 2 open. So I went, okay. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be quick, but it's fine. Maybe it'll move fairly quickly.
Sure.
So I put in my number. We're sitting there, kids are kind of restless because they've already been in the car for like 3 hours-ish. And so we're just sitting, we're sitting. Okay. So like you, I kind of didn't look at the clock for a minute, and then I did and went, what? Because it was like 20 minutes, like 30 minutes. I'm sitting there and going, did they not have food? Like, what is going on? Like,
yeah.
And again, this speaks into the overstimulation. Like, I had just driven for like 2.5 hours.
Yep.
I had both my kids in the car with me. It's a Saturday. Like, yeah. So it wasn't the most understanding mindset at the time. And so I'm just sitting there going, where are they? Because like people are coming in and out. Well, then I start to notice these people coming in and out are coming in and out of the cars next to me. So I'm going, what? So I pulled into curbside, did this whole app thing, and now I have to go in, take my 2 kids out of the car, put their shoes back on, like, And I went, no. So at other McDonald's, I have had on a couple of occasions where if curbside doesn't work, like either it doesn't go through, I don't know, they actually will tell you, go to the drive-thru, tell them that you have an order, and we'll give it to you at the window. So I do that. I pull out of that curbside, swallow my pride, get into the drive-thru line that I just drove.
Oh my gosh.
And lo and behold, I should have done that from the beginning because that thing moved way faster than it looked like it was going to. And so I get up to the window and it's some very nice, very obviously teenage girl who's like, taking orders. I said, hey, okay, so I was sitting at curbside. I've been there for like 25-ish minutes and like nobody's come out. So I just figured I'll come through the drive-thru. You guys can just give it to me at the window. And she's like, oh, well, what's your number? Because like if you do it on the McDonald's app, you get like an actual like code. It feels very strange, like some spy exchange or something. Like you have to like give them a code. It's weird. So I said, well, no, I don't have that because I was going to do curbside. And so she goes, oh, okay, 1 second. And then she goes away for like almost a whole minute, which is, a year in drive-thru time. And so I'm sitting there. And so she finally comes back and she's like, we can't do that. I went, oh, why? I said, no, you can't. I think that's actually what I said. I said, no, you can. Like,
you can do it.
This is the point that I was at. I was like, no, you can. Don't tell me you can't do it. You can. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And then just stops talking. And at which point I'm going,
oh, you hit a nerve.
Yeah. So I pulled around. I stayed in that line and I pulled around and I got up to the window and the lady started, the first window you pay. And so she starts rattling off the door. I'm like, no, that's not my order. I said, I'm actually here to pick up a curbside order. I said, I was sitting right there. Didn't get it. And I am not getting my kids out of the car. So it's just bring me my food. And so she's like, oh, well, do they know you're coming? I said, I might talk to somebody about it. I don't know if they know that I'm still coming, but because she had said, no, you're gonna have to come in. I said, no, you can give it to me through the drive-thru. So I get past the first window. That lady was fine. I get to the next window and it's now a teenage boy who looks at me he's holding not my meal. And he goes, and because I went, no, that's not mine. He went, oh, well, like, went through the whole thing again. And then this lady comes up and I'm like, oh, this is either going to go real bad or real good. And she starts giving me attitude. She starts saying, ma'am, you don't need to be having an attitude. I went, I'm not having an attitude. I know that you can pick up my food that is probably right there and hand it to me through this. I don't have time to get my kids out and go in and wait because it is like madness inside that McDonald's. There were so many people there, probably because of this Grinch thing. And so she's just sitting there. And so as I'm sitting there telling her, no, you need to she's like, well, what did you order? I said, at this point, I don't remember. I just know it was a lot of money. And it's like 4 or 5 of these Grinch things. And, and so she's just going on. Well, anyway, as we're sitting there talking, I see this man walk out with this tray full of Grinch meals. And I went, that's probably mine. And she went, no, because it's bull. And I went, no, that is, I'm looking at it now. I'm going, yeah, that actually kind of looks like what I would have ordered. And so she's like fighting with me. And so the guy went up to what looked like was going to be the spot next to me, went to the window, like did the whole back and forth. And like, no one was claiming this food. I said, that is my food. And, she just was adamant, like, man, you don't even know what you ordered, blah, blah, blah. And so I literally stuck my hand out the window and waved the guy over, like, come here. That's my food. Bring it over here. And so he walks over and the lady's like, whatever the guy's name is, she's like, so-and-so, like, what's the name on that order? And I'm sitting there going like, please, for the love of God, say my name so that I don't look like an absolute idiot. He says my name. And I went, oh my gosh. Look at that. It's my food and you brought it to me. So that was so much. And was I the nicest? No, probably not. But, just don't make things difficult for people. I don't know. Like,
I just want my Grinch Happy Meal. That's all I want.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And now I am a Grinch. So way to go, McDonald's.
I am a Grinch. And this meal's not making me happy.
Yeah. So chaos report done. That was
done.
Mine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Jordan, thank you for sharing. Listeners, we want you to share your chaos because we know what's happening out there. It's wild. It's reckless. And you just don't know what to expect in life. So That is a wrap on our spiral for today. And if you've got a chaotic moment that made you say, what even is happening right now? We want to hear it. Slide into our DMs. Let's build connection through our mess, and maybe we will just find a way out together.
Yeah, thank you for joining us in the spiral today, because honestly, this season of overstimulation and overwhelm, it is messy, it is ridiculous, and it is a little existential, just like life. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Well, don't forget to subscribe, to follow, say hi to us on social. We love seeing your faces, hearing your stories, and knowing we're just not the only ones spiraling out here in this tornado of chaos. So, because life is messy,
chaos is real, and none of us have it all figured out.
And that's exactly why we're here, because
what even is this?